Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. There's trouble brewing over the Jackie Lambi network's deal with the state government. The trio wants to renegotiate the deal, while at the same time they're seeking to potentially separate themselves from the party's founder.
It's the Yellow team holding a balance of power, now breaking their silence, saying they are unhappy with the deal they made with the government.
There's probably two bits that I'd like to move out of it, and that's the binding clause and the adjournment clause.
The agreement is scheduled to run for 12 months, with the party calling for a renegotiation of the deal in April.
I understand why it was put there. I would regret it if I went 12 months and kept it the same.
The government not threatened by the potential political shake-up.
We'll continue to work with the JLN. We think there's opportunities to continue to grow that relationship and work on that deal as we go forward.
Jeremy Rockcliffe said it himself in the election, don't elect a coalition of chaos, and now he's leading one.
There are also internal issues within the network. According to media reports, the 3 JLM members sent a legal ultimatum to Jackie Lambi on June 2, with members requesting she sign it within a week. But as of this month, she reportedly hasn't. Andrew Jenner confirming today there have been conversation amongst the 3 members about Jackie's ongoing involvement. He says the agreement is news to him.
I haven't seen any agreement signed or not signed.
The government is looking to implement a stability clause, which means anyone who leaves a party must leave Parliament altogether, potentially leaving a window open for members of the JLN to become independents.
None of these people would have got elected as independents. If they run as independents, they wouldn't have got any votes to speak of.
We are trying to keep a stable government. That's the main thing.
The current government, no doubt, also hoping to keep it that way for as long as possible. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
A children's charity has been left to pick up the pieces after a heartless break-in caused thousands of dollars damage. Workers say there's no time to rest, with Variety hosting 2 of its biggest events this weekend.
It was business as usual for this much-loved, hard-working charity today after a devastating break-in early Sunday night.
We are very, very proud of Variety and our work, and to be invaded in the way we were, it just felt a little bit out of touch.
Tasmania Police confirming the glass front door was smashed, the offender breaking and stealing several items. Variety say, all up, there was $6,000 in damage.
A wood fund, 12,000 breakfasts, or 18 brand new bikes to 18 kids who never had bikes before.
The incident couldn't have come at a worse time for Variety, which is set to host 2 of its biggest events here at PW1 this weekend. The Monster Book Fair and Spin for Kids, hoping to raise much needed donations for children in need.
The more donations we can receive, the more we can do in good for those kids.
The charity well placed in the community, supporting thousands of children living with special needs who are sick or disadvantaged. The CEO now calling on the perpetrator to reflect on what they've done.
Think about your action, and more to the point, think about the impact this will have on the people and the businesses who are doing everything they can to help others.
Investigations are ongoing, and anyone with information can report it to Bellreeve Police. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian shoppers are being encouraged to boycott a number of popular dairy brands as a wage dispute between manufacturing giant Saputo and workers at its Burnie plant rolls on. Unions Tasmania wants locals to ditch the items until Tasmanian pay packets match those interstate.
The workers in Burnie get paid 21% less than their counterparts on the mainland for doing exactly the same job.
This is absolutely appalling at a time when we have cost of living pressures.
Saputo says it's committed to progressing negotiations to find a solution that workers agree on. There's been an online ticket frenzy with eager walkers snapping up the chance to tackle the Overland Track this summer. Bookings for the season only opened this morning, and so far more than half of the available spots for the iconic Highlands Trail have been filled, with more than 5,000 people signing up. Majority of those coming from interstate. January has completely sold out, with limited availability in December. The Tasmanian taxi industry is pushing the government for compensation payouts. It claims it's lost income since drive-share giant Uber entered the market.
Fighting for a fare that's fair. Tasmania's taxi drivers uniting, calling on the government for compensation.
No one wants to drive the taxi now at the moment. It is very hard.
With drivers saying they're forking out much more than Uber, claiming it's a result of the rideshare giant's arrival on the island 7 years ago.
Taxi drivers have very high overheads. Some of them have paid $120,000 for a perpetual plate.
That's in addition to paying double in vehicle registration and insurance compared to Uber drivers.
That is a very unfair market.
With taxi drivers saying they continue to lose drivers to their competition.
Getting the very difficult. The taxi driver will jump on the Uber.
The industry is now hoping to follow in the footsteps of their Victorian counterparts, who won big in a multi-million-dollar class action settlement, with global giant Uber set to cough up almost $300 million in compensation.
Hopefully this will help the beleaguered taxi drivers in respect of costs.
It also comes as drivers allegedly face racial slurs and their vehicles being damaged, with some now questioning their safety.
They're scared to do their job. They can't react back.
The government say they support the taxi industry but won't be coming to the table on changing legislation.
We don't have any plans in terms of changing any financial arrangements with the taxi industry.
It's a gross dereliction of their duty of care to the community.
Rebecca Gaydenaris, 7 Tasmania News.
Large parts of the state have shivered through yet another frosty start to the day. A cold snap plunging temperatures well below zero, with Laiwini dropping down to -11 degrees and Fingal hitting -6.
There were some very cold temperatures for July, and in particular, Wynyard's temperature of -3.5 degrees was the second coldest July temperature recorded at Wynyard.
We still need to rug up, with the worst of the icy spell yet to come. Temperatures are forecast to continue to drop below 0 degrees over the next few days. And Kaya will have more for us in our weather segment a little later tonight. A stoush between a local homelessness charity and Launceston Council has hit boiling point as the temperature plummets. Strike It Out lashing out, saying they're tired of bureaucratic red tape around crucial measures they believe make life easier for those sleeping rough.
For most of us, a hot shower is a must on a chilly morning, but this facility is closed to some of our most vulnerable.
Imagine if you couldn't have a shower every day, what you'd feel like if you were living outdoors.
Previously parked on council land, Strike It Out's mobile shower facility and sleeping pods are languishing on private property after being ordered to move on.
Really upsetting, especially when we're in the cracks of winter time here, -3 degrees this morning.
Neither the showers or portable sleeping pods had the necessary approvals to operate, despite being nearly 2 years in the works.
Well, they were not compliant. They haven't fulfilled the questions that we actually asked several months ago.
Now I just feel like there's just blockades the whole way.
The accusation prompting a furious response from the acting mayor. Hugh Mackenzie says the council's been trying to work with the group.
You know, we would love the things to be open now, but it's just a matter of them working with us to enable us to happen.
But Kirsten says it's not the first time one of her projects has been held up. Red tape also tying up Strike It Out's storage lockers.
That was a 2-year process, and it cost us as a organisation $6,000 to have that infrastructure.
Maybe it's bureaucracy, but we need some rules and regulations around it to ensure that it's a safe place.
While both Strike It Out and the council say they're willing to return to the table to find a solution, it's cold comfort for those sleeping rough tonight. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmania Fire Service is on the hunt for career firefighters who are interested in making a difference in volunteer squads. It's part of a multi-million-dollar commitment by the state government to bolster the state's emergency services.
An opportunity to be a leader on the front lines. The Tasmania Fire Service undergoing a recruitment blitz to find new field officers.
2 will be in the southern region, 2 in the northern region and 1 in the northwest region.
They'll play a crucial role in coordinating Tasmania's numerous volunteer brigades and also perform various roles outside of their core position.
These field officers provide administrative support, preparedness support for bushfires and, more importantly, response assistance when these brigades respond.
Our fieldwork officers are the quiet heroes of our regional fire service.
The recruitment drive is part of a broader state government promise to upgrade the capabilities of our fire brigades, setting aside $1.5 million over 3 years.
We've got 24 firefighters currently undergoing training here at Cambridge and learning the skills of the trade.
It's hoped the move will encourage more Tasmanians to consider volunteering with their local squad.
As we bring more volunteers into our workplace, they need more training, they need more assistance to have their brigades prepared.
The additional field officer positions will be advertised before the end of the month. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
A new locally produced play highlighting the life of a working class family is set to take the stage. The Box aims to break down stereotypes about those living in Housing Commission properties.
They are so often misinterpreted by anyone who's on the outside. They're seen as kind of bogan and feral.
The Box is incredibly significant. It's a new work that has been in development for the last 3 years.
It'll premiere at Launceston's Earl Arts Centre at the end of the month before touring Burnie and Hobart.
There's a real buzz around the Diamondbacks this week as former club mate Josh Belts prepares for his 3rd Olympics, one of 3 Tasmanian hockey players making the trip to Paris.
It was great to see so many selected, and from such a small state like Tassie, I mean, been doing so well for so long, it's great to see them.
Max's Diamondbacks couldn't be shaken by ladder leaders Canterbury on the weekend in a 2-2 draw, now needing to hold off University, who are snapping at their heels. The women, who've gone 2 weeks without conceding a goal, feel a raft of outs is no worry for their top-of-the-table clash.
This game we're missing obviously our 18s players in Sophie Krumick and Rosie Salmon, and we're still missing Nicole Jeeves, but hopefully it doesn't matter which players we've got there. We play pretty well as a team.
Both sides are second on their ladders and sit comfortably inside the top 4. And Launceston's Alexandra Viney will head to her 2nd Paralympics, named in the Australian PR3 mixed coxed 4 for Paris. She just missed a podium finish in the same event at Tokyo, finishing 4th there. So here's hoping she can go 1 or maybe 3 better, Kim.
Let's hope. Thanks very much, Nick. Kai will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. Hobart, Devonport and Burnie all 11 today. Launceston just making double digits with 10 degrees. Now further out we saw Flinders Island taking out the top with 12, 11 the common temperature for St Helens, Friendly Beaches, Maria Island and Strawn, 10 for King Island, Smithton and Grove, Low Head and Bushy Park 9 and 3 degrees for Lyowini today. The satellite image shows cloud about the south of Tasmania extending to the west coast. There are mostly clear conditions about the north and the central plateau. Scattered cloud sits about the southeastern states, particularly about coastal areas. Tomorrow, a high pressure centre over the state will ridge towards the southeast of the country as a weak low will shift towards the west of the Bight. Variable winds 10 knots about most waters, including inland lakes, although they'll tend southerly 10 to 20 knots about eastern waters, with southwesterly swells expected to reach up to 2.5 metres. A road weather alert continues for many parts of the state again this evening and tomorrow morning, which may cause dangerous driving conditions. Reminder again to please drive safely on our roads. Your forecast now for Wednesday. A bit of cloud for Hobart and Geeston, 11 degrees. A morning frost for Bothwell, 9's the top there. Another frost for the north tomorrow, -4 overnight for Launceston, warming to 11 degrees, much the same in Devonport, 12. Sunny after a frosty morning in Cressy, and they're chasing 10 degrees. Now that frost extends to parts of the west also, Burnie 12. Similar conditions in Strawn 11, 13 and partly cloudy for Curry. Partly cloudy and 13 for St Helens, cloudy also for Swansea and Orford, 12's the maximum. Now there'll be no reprieve from widespread frost from the upcoming 3-day forecast now. Thursday, possible light showers about the far south, otherwise fine elsewhere. Friday, light showers continue about the far south and they'll extend also to the west. And as we approach the weekend, those light showers will remain for the far south and west on Saturday. Much warmer up north tomorrow. Darwin 32 and sunny. Showers increasing in Sydney 17. Canberra and Melbourne sharing a morning frost. Hobart mostly cloudy 8 degrees. Cool in Launceston with 2 degrees and also 2 degrees in Devonport. Minus 11 degrees recorded at Lyweenie overnight. But pipped at the post in Thredbo in Victoria, recording the nation's low of minus 13 degrees. A winter wonderland, Kim.
Very, very cold. Thank you, Kyra. And that is all your news for now. We'll have updates throughout the night. Thanks for joining us. For now, good night.